Bhagavad Gita was revealed by the Supreme Being, Krishna, to the human representative Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra.
Last day we had a section of Gita Pravesha where our students have shared their experience with us on specific verses from Gita, which was beautiful articulations. Let us recall on the few points that was narrated yesterday. As seasons of winter and summer appear and disappear, happiness and distress are not permanent. Also, it is not important to learn and tolerate them without being disturbed. Always, we do most things to satisfy our desire, but those experiences do not last forever. If one could have awareness and presence of mind, it would help us for tap on our inner self. Our Amma tells happiness is something that has not to be found in outer world, but it in the inner self.
From anger follows delusion. From delusion, failure of memory. From the failure of memory, the loss of understanding. From the loss of understanding, one perishes. We lose our intellect and the ability to think when our emotion notions is at its peak, due to which one becomes ruined when the intellect gets damaged. It is always better to contemplate with twice in any situation of our lives. We have to try being a person who thinks before acting, even when we are emotionally disturbed.
These were such insightful talks presented by Genga, Sharath, Bhavana, Girindra, experts with an insane and deep rooted messages. And today too, we have the next set of co-speakers sharing their life experience connected with the sloka, chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga, verse 29 of the great Gita. Without further ado, let us welcome our very first co-speaker, Roshan Ramesh of S3ME, who is passionate about sports, his foremost choice being badminton and basketball. Welcome, Roshan.
Namaste, am I audible?
Yes.
Sure. Am I visible now? Yes, sure. Om Amati Shri Megha, thank you for that wonderful introduction. So, I'm Roshan Ramesh from S3ME. As part of the Gita Jayanthi, I would like to tell you a sloka from Bhagavad Gita, from chapter 6, verse 29. Sarvabhudastamatmanam Sarvabhudani Chatmani Ikshade Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. Sarvabhudastam, situated in all living beings. Atmanam, meaning supreme soul. Sarva, all. Bhudani, living beings. Cha, and. Atmani, in God. Ikshade, sees. Yoga Yuktatma, one united in consciousness with God. Sarvatra, everywhere. Samadarshanaha, equal vision. In this verse, beginning with the words Sarva Bhudastam Atmanam, Sri Bhagavan is explaining the characteristics of a person who realized Brahma and who has become liberated in his life. He directly experiences the presence of the Super Soul in all living entities, understanding that he is the substratum of all living entities. The words Yoga Yuktatma refer to a person who realizes the Supreme Lord in all beings, both moving and non-moving, due to his mind being absorbed in Brahma. In other words, he experiences Brahma everywhere. The Spirit of God lives in everything, in children, the disabled, the ill, the poor, everyone. By considering everyone as an equal, we all become one and start understanding and respecting the perspectives of others. We become better human beings as we learn to share and care for everyone. We try not to break anyone's trust because of our own mindset to see everyone equally important. Also, when we see everyone equally, we start to think of them as our own family and live peacefully with joy. Now, let me tell you a story. So, during the olden days, we used to have gurukuls instead of schools, right? So, there was one such gurukul, and there were two students. Their names were Hari and Radhisha. So, after their education was complete, the guru wanted to test them whether they had learned their education, they got it or not. So, in order to test them, what the guru did was he handed both of them each one live pigeon, and the guru asked them to kill the pigeon at a lonely place. So, both of them set out deep into the forest to find a lonely place. And 2 days later, Hari had returned with a dead pigeon in his hand. And he told the guru that he found a forest. He found a cave where there weren't anything that like it was completely lonely, and that there weren't even insects to see him kill the pigeon. So the guru then waited for Radheshyam, who returned after 2 weeks. And even after returning after 2 weeks, the pigeon was still alive. So when he was asked why he didn't kill the pigeon, uh, Radheshyam told that he couldn't find a lonely place to kill the pigeon because during teaching, the Guru himself had told them that God is everywhere and that um, God is there in everything and everywhere there is God. So listening to this answer, the Guru was happy actually because he understood what he taught him and that he understood the main thing, that is God is everywhere. So Radhesham had passed the test, and he was taught that God is there in everything, and he saw everything equally with the presence of God in it. That's the reason why he was not able to kill the pigeon. So something that I would also like to share about my own life experience is that we should always try and keep this one point in mind, that we are always all one, and that we aren't different people, we are one. We have to keep this point in mind. And why I'm saying this is because there's no point in quarreling for small things or something there. Like I'm saying with my own personal experience, that is I you know that is we kind of have when there are small things or small fights or something, just think about this fact that we are all one. So what I do is, I'm not saying that I don't become angry at someone, or I but it's like I always think that next time something comes up or something that makes me angry or something like that, but I will be thinking about it, and I'll be thinking that we are all one after all, right? So what's the point in just becoming angry or shouting at them? So I just think about the situation and then act upon it. So I just try to do that. I'm not usually like that. I try to do like that. Then yeah, that's all. And so I would like to conclude by saying that the true yogis, uniting their consciousness with God, see with equal eye all living beings in God, and God in all living beings. We may have difficult times in life, but that supernatural power, God, is present in some way or the other, in some form or the other, to help us and guide us in difficulties and help us sail through difficult times. That's all. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Roshan. How beautifully explained. I'm sure that what you said, God lives in everything, irrespective of demarcation, would surely have touched hearts of many sitting here. In addition to sharing your experience with us, you also revealed that you believe in God wherever He may be helped encounter you with such a circumstances as well. It is important to remember that although there may be difficulties in life, the power of God and will always there to guide us through and help us through whatever may come our way.
Next on Spotlight, let us welcome Navaneet Sanjeev of S3ME. To tell about him, he is pretty much inclined towards nature. To jot out some specifications like he is interested in sustainability and also he loves to learn and explore Indian culture. Welcome Navaneet.
Thank you. Thank you for the beautiful welcome. Namah Shivaya. I am Navneet from S3 Mechanical. I would first of all like to thank Ayuth for giving me this opportunity to speak on one of the verses of the Bhagavad Gita. I hope I am audible and visible, right?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Okay. And so I will be here discussing the 29th verse of the Dhyana Yoga, that is the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So the verse goes down as follows. Sarva bhudastamatmanam sarva bhutani chatmani ikshati yoga yuktatma sarvatra samadharshana. It means he whose self is established in yoga, that is a true yogi, sees everywhere equally. He sees the self, that is me or God, some people call it as God, in all beings, and all beings in the self or God. So that is the plain meaning of the verse. So when we just go for the transliteration or when we break down the words and take the individual meanings, it's like this. Sarva bhudastam. Sarva bhudastam means situated in all beings. Atmanam. Atmanam is actually the super soul, the supreme soul, or you can call the God, or whatever, the supreme consciousness. Sarva, of course, is all. Bhudani, entities, that is the all beings in the world. Cha is also, and Atmani in the self. So Sarva bhudastam Atmanam. That means all. See, the supreme soul is situated in all beings, and Sarva bhudani cha Atmani. That means all entities are situated in the self. Atmani self, or the supreme soul itself. So all entities are situated in God or in the supreme self or the supreme consciousness. And ikshate means does see in yoga yuktadma, that is one whose self is established in yoga or a self-realized person. And sarvatra is everywhere, and samadarshana means seen equally. So the last verse says like the one whose self is established in yoga or a self-realized person sees everywhere equally. So this simply means that everything around us, including we ourselves, are the same. Just that it is difficult for us to perceive it as same. We feel it as different. Whereas the people who are established in yoga or self-realized people can perceive it much more easily, and they can see that it's all the same. It is said that in one of the verses of the Bhagavad Gita, I think it is the 48th verse of the 2nd chapter, it says like Samatvam Yoga Uchyate, which means that yoga is evenness or oneness or equanimity. So a person established in yoga is even, or it's very calm regardless of whatever the situations are. In all changing situations, he or she is very calm and very even. So are you a self-realized being or someone established in yoga? Okay, I would say Amma is one of the greatest examples of someone who sees everything equally. As you all know, she's a self-realized soul. Okay, now shall I ask you something? Actually, who are you? Like, who are you? Can you say who are you? Like, I think yeah, here Chaitanya is there, Gokul is there. So who is Chaitanya? Who is Gokul? Who's Sahana Reddy? Who are you? So are you your palm, Or are you your palm, or are you your tummy, or are you the the DPs which I see in all of your profile pics, or are you the brain with which you do all sorts of calculations, or the heart, or your heart with which you feel everything, or are you the mind where all your thoughts lies in, or are you the intellect with which you take all your decisions? Really, who are you? What is you, by the way? Well, I won't tell in terms of soul and all. Let's leave the business of soul aside. I shall call it, the pure consciousness, or the self, or I. Let's take it as I, as you refer to your real you as I, and I refer to the real me as I. So we just said that now that your face, your arm, your mind, your intellect is now the real you or real me. So actually, it is this I. I am not this body or the mind or this intellect. I am something else. I am beyond all this. It is this I who's present in every one of us. So the I in me and the I in you are all the same. Like they're just one and the same thing. In short, Navneet and Chaitanya is the same, and it's like the names are just given to the mere bodies. Like I exist in the body so called as Chaitanya, and Chaitanya exists in the body so called as Navneet. So that's how it is. So I just give you an example sort of thing. Yeah. Do one thing. Just imagine a few colored pots kept under the shining sun. The sun rays fall on the pot, and they reflect it. And you can see the images of the sun on the pot. So when the sun falls on the different colored pots, the round sun appears in different colors in each of the different pots. But after all, it is the same sun which is being appeared in different colors in each of these pots. So similarly, it's like there is only one eye, and the same eye appears different when it reflects through the different bodies. So when the supreme consciousness, or the I, the super soul, or the supreme consciousness, when it reflects through me, through this body of mine, it shows, yeah, it gives the characteristic of Navneet, the behavior and all. And whereas when it reflects through the body of Chinmay, it shows the characteristic and the behavior and the appearances of Chinmay. So that's how it goes on. So it's like how we humans live in our houses. Like I would say, the body is the place where the real I lives in. I live in this body, which is called as Navneet, by the other bodies are over here. So the other bodies are the ones who have named this body as Navneet. Okay, so let me take another example. During I think you must have gone to many festivals. So during the festivals, you must have seen sugar candies molded in different shapes. And the children, small kids are behind all these candies when you go to the festivals. So the candies are shaped in different shapes, like in the shape of an elephant, the shape of a car, in the shape of an aeroplane, the shape of a horse, etc. So so the children will argue with their parents, like they wanted the horse candy or the car candy or the elephant candy. After all, it's all the same. All these candies are made of the same ingredient, and it's all equally sweet and equally tasty. So the parents here are like the people like the self-realized beings who knows the fact that both the horse candy, elephant candy are all made of the same thing, and they're all equally sweet. But the children are like the billions of us who are not aware that everything is the same. So, what is this oneness? So, I earlier said that yoga is oneness. So, what is this oneness? Okay. Imagine that you're the whole universe. You live in total joy and bliss. Imagine there is no past or future. Imagine there is no space or time. Just an unbounded eternity. Imagine endless peace, harmony, and unconditional love. Imagine no fear and equality in all things. This is oneness. Unfortunately, we can never imagine it fully. to understand or experience anything, we need to compare it to something else, right? So when we compare it with another thing, it immediately brings us into the into the thing of duality. So oneness is actually something which we cannot compare. It's incomparable. So is it ever possible to know oneness? Well, yes, it is, but only by direct experience. When we get the direct experience, when we go beyond the mind, the intellect, and ego. So oneness is something, oneness is the opposite of, oneness is the coming together of all opposites, good and bad, hot and cold, pleasure and pain. It's actually nothing in itself, but holds the potential for everything. Oneness is purely nothingness, but it holds the potential for everything. So we have to go beyond the senses, beyond the duality to find oneness. We've actually we've had we've had some random, we sometimes have some random experiences or some glimpses of oneness. It must be unexpected. Perhaps I'll just give you an example. Perhaps if you're watching a beautiful sunset and you're watching a beautiful sunset in the evening, and at that moment you felt like you were like completely admiring into the sunset, and then you fall for it, and like you're completely merged into it. You don't feel that you exist, like you're like merged with the whole of creation. So at such a moment, you can taste a little of the thing called oneness. So that's when you don't feel your existence. Like there are some expressions for these glimpses. We say like it took my breath away, or the time stood still. So sometimes we also hear some of the romantic poets telling so, like when you see your girlfriend, the lover, like it took my breath away, or time stood still. So it's something like you're like completely merged into it. You don't feel your existence. It's something beyond that. No, you don't. You feel like it's like floating away. So this is actually oneness. But even the example which I gave you with the sunset or the lover thing, it's not still the the ultimate thing. It's just a small tinge of it which you get it. So in fact, we become one with the totality of the experience. So and when we just come from the moment of oneness, when we after seeing the sunset, when we just come down, when we speak with the friends or get involved something else, when we just move our eyes away from the sun, we find it impossible to express it. Like when we hear oneness and when we were admiring the sun, and when we were in oneness, like we were merged in it. So when you come out and when you're asked to share it, like, you can't. It's impossible to properly express it. It just was something we can't express. So that is why it goes beyond everything. So yeah, another situation I think where some of us may have experienced is like like that's an experience when we get another slightest taste of oneness. So and that is when we sleep. So basically, in my personal life, actually, if I have experienced at least a little, or maybe it must be during the sleep, but it's also very 0.1% of the 100%. So actually, sometimes even most of you must have also experienced, when you're extremely tired, sometimes when you're extremely tired after the day's work, and you're complete, and you just feel like the sleep is falling on your eyes, and you just feel like falling off on the bed. So when you just fall off like that, then you won't know anything until the sun rises the next morning. You're like completely drowsed off, and you don't know anything. So you don't experience that you exist itself. So that's when you move on to the deep sleep state. So where you won't know anything. So in this in this deep sleep state also, you get a small taste of this oneness. But you don't move to the deep sleep state always. That is another thing. Always when you sleep, you don't go to the deep sleep state. Like sometimes you dream. In the dream state, actually, what happens is, in the dream state, your bodily identity exists. Like in the dream state, I think you'll see yourself, as if you're Chaitanya, you see yourself, yourself and your parents or your teachers or some and all around you in the dream. So that is what happens in the dream. So the existence of Chaitanya or existence of Gokul happens over there. It occurs over there. So whereas when you go to the in the deep sleep state, when that does not exist, like Navneet does not exist in the deep sleep state, or Chaitanya or Gokul or Chinmay does not exist in the deep sleep state. Only in the dream do that do that exist. In the deep sleep state, just mainly the pure consciousness or the I is what exists, and of course a little of ignorance also exists. That's what scholars do say. So as a result of we forget our true nature. So as a result of this, we create an illusionary world of duality around us, and that is what which leads to suffering. All disagreements, conflicts, and wars are due to the mistaken belief that I and you are separate. And yeah, realizing oneself, realizing the oneness, or that everything is same, is itself the greatest thing. When we realize that we are one, and what is there to fight against? When we are one, when we realize that when we are one, there is nothing to fight against. Like I can't fight with you. How can I fight with you? Because you and I are the same. So it's equal to what I'm beating myself or I hurting myself. So how can you dislike someone when we are all same? Like how can you dislike yourself? And how can you hurt yourself? Like how is that possible? You can only do is help others. So by helping others, you help yourself. So think of a situation, when everyone is self-realized on this earth. How on earth can racial and religious discrimination take place? If everyone is self-realized, what a beautiful place would this earth be to live in? On a cosmic level, two people fighting is as ridiculous as if your hands are fighting with each other. It's like, your left hand doesn't like your right hand, and your left hand starts hitting your right hand. Like, instead of knowing, like, it's all the same, you think it funny, right? Like, think of it, like your left hand beating your right hand like this. It doesn't know that it's all the same, it's all part of yourself. So that's what's happening around us right now. So I'll just show you a picture right now. So I think, can you see the picture? Yeah. So do you get it? What this picture says? This is exactly what is happening in the world. This is exactly what is happening in the world. What all of us are doing in the world right now. Fine. So this is actually the lack of oneness. It doesn't know that it is fighting with itself. That's all. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thanks, Navneet, for the great talk. Yeah, we must also realize that we are one. And when we do, it will help us not to hate or hurt anyone. What is interesting is how you have used a simple example of caddies to illustrate oneness. As you stated, oneness is incomparable. So, we cannot compare ourselves to anything else, and yet comparing has become part of our nature. Which means we must stop comparing not only to others but also to ourselves. Very well said.
Thank you.
Next online, we have Chinmay of S3ME. Chinmay has a keen interest in physics, Indian history and sports. To add on, he also loves to compose essays. We would love to hear some of your composed essays. Let us keep it on another day. So welcome, Chinmay.
Thank you for that warm introduction, Megha. Namaskar all. I hope that I am clearly visible and audible.
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you. Namaskar. A very warm good evening to all. As said, my name is Chinmay MC. I am coming from semester 3 mechanical engineering. Today, I'll be repeating about the same sloka from the chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita from the Dhyana Yoga. Navneet and Roshan have already given us a very good idea on what is the sloka is reflecting on. So I will also try to do the same. Okay, I can recite the sloka once, which you have already heard twice, but I will also recite once. सर्वभूतस्थमात्मानं सर्वभूतानि चात्मनि ईक्षते योगयुक्तात्मा सर्वत्र समदर्शना. This particular sloka, first when this opportunity came to me, when this sloka was chosen by me, I had I had just struck my various experiences on it. Like there were multiple experiences where I felt the same, but not up to a conscious yogi level or a high level of spirituality, but from a very small point of view of mine with just a 20 years of experience. So the particular sloka from the Dhyana Yoga, the sloka 29, explains that a true yogi observes the supreme power in all beings. That is, a conscious yogi who has understood the union or the who is a self-realized soul, observes the supreme power or the supreme energy in all living beings, and also sees every living being or in every living being in the particular supreme energy. That is, even if we are considering ourselves, there is a supreme energy in all of us. Like the same, we all are situated, our presence or our energy is situated in the supreme energy. Indeed, the self-realized person or the Jivatma sees the Supreme Lord everywhere. That is the Paramatma everywhere in the whole universe. That is in everything that is around us. I will come on to a small commentary by Swami Gambhirananda. One who has his mind self-absorbed through yoga and who has the vision of sameness everywhere sees this self-existing in everything and everything in the self. That is, while seeing this particular commentary, I had come to a story which I remember reading back then. It was like one Guruji who was training his pupils in a Gurukula Sampradaya. So once he asked his pupil about when will we actually know when does the sun arise. Okay, that is when will we actually understand when the sun arises. But we all would have definitely seen the sun rising, but when can we actually understand the sun has risen? So many answers came, by the way. One student directly said the answer that when we there was a mountain near the Gurukula, and normally it was in the east direction, so the sun rose from that particular direction. So that pupils told to Guru that when we are able to see the animals over there or the sheep or whatever was there, when we are able to see it clearly, we can understand that sunlight has come or the sun has risen perfectly. And another student said that when we understand that the birds are chirping, or when we hear that the birds are chirping, we can understand that the sun has risen. So many answers came like that, but at last one student came and told to Guru that Guru, I personally believe that I understand when the sun arises, the particular time of the sun arises is that when we can see others as a reflection of ourselves, the sun has risen. That is, we are seeing ourselves in a different person. That is, I have always liked one quote by Amma, that is, the very extremes of the spirituality both lies in compassion. That is, we are the same, or I am Navneet or Navneet is me, or whichever person is here. I am you and you am I. Like those who have went to Sabarimala would have seen that Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi just means that I am you. That is, the God itself is mine. So that particular meaning comes in that when the student said that Guru gave a hug for him and said that it is the perfect answer you can answer. That is, when we are able to see our reflection through another person, or we are seeing the same ideology or that same biological system. We are made of all the same biological system, and when we are able to see the same consciousness that one person is the reflection of another, then we can understand that the sun has risen. And moving on, a yogi, that is the very extreme of the Paramatman or the Mahatmas, not the Paramatmas but the Mahatmas or the Gurujis who are self-realized souls, or the yogi who is a conscious yogi, always have the Supreme Lord is the perfect conscious yogi is the of the Supreme Lord is the perfect seer because he sees the Supreme Lord or the Supreme Soul situated in everyone's heart as the Paramatma. The Lord in his Paramatma feature is situated within both the heart of an animal and that of a human being. Even if it's an animal, I didn't try to say that we humans are only part of this supreme energy or supreme energy is part of our humans, but the supreme energy or the Paramatma lies in every living entity that is over here. That is, even if it's a non-living thing, it's a living thing. The supreme energy or the supreme soul lies in everywhere around this world or in everything around us. The Lord, in his Paramatma feature, is situated within with both the heart of an animal and that of a human being. This reflects the supreme neutrality of the supreme energy or the Lord. A person who is conscious of the supreme power can see the same Lord in everything he sees or everything around him, and he also understands that the same energy or the same supreme energy lies in both the believer and the non-believer. The Lord, being the source of all beings, is like the mother and the maintainer. That is, in the Bhagavad Gita itself, from the second chapter of Sankhya Yoga, we can see that it clearly explains that when after a certain period of lifetime, maybe our body can be destroyed, but the soul remains the same. That is, even if we are taking an example as we all have mothers, so if we are taking the example of our mother, maybe this particular mother is for this life, and when that body is destroyed, maybe some other mother would be coming as my or our mother, everyone has a mother, and some other mother would be coming as to take care in the next life. But the supreme soul or the supreme energy lies the same. It is not changing, and it is an eternal transcendental, because it doesn't change. Maybe the mother, maybe the body does change, and in the next life there would be another mother, but the supreme energy or the supreme soul remains the same. Maybe this is happening, or that the reflection or the supreme energy or the union of that particular energy remains the same. Consequently, the supreme soul is always in every living being, and every living entity is situated in him in one form or the other. When I, as said before, when I came across this particular sloka, multiple experiences came to me, and I can say on two experiences that struck my mind was, in our day-to-day life we would have so many experiences and so many troubles. We would have come across so many problems. So when we would have definitely come across incidents where we felt a presence of certain supreme energy or a supreme power which is helping us or directing us, by which we could accomplish a certain specific task or something. We would be like in a helpless manner, but at certain point maybe some supreme energy was trying to help us. Maybe that's an inner belief, or maybe there is an intuition that some supreme energy is helping us. Everyone would have had such experiences. So when I was in 7th standard and I used to play cricket, I used to play professional cricket. So I had my kit bag with me, and I had a tournament near Dharmashala, which is a place in Kannur district of Kerala. So from Dharmashala, after the competition was over, I was traveling back to my home. So I came to Dharmashala bus stand, and it was the last bus to Kannur for that particular day. So I logged into that bus. I got into it, and later on I kept my kit bag near to me, which was of a size like it could only occupy one single seat. So the bus took after 5 minutes, and when the conductor came to me and the ticket collector came to me, he asked me to pay for the kit bag too. Along with my ticket, he took charge of that particular kit bag too. So I was like, I didn't have the money, to be honest, I didn't have the money to give for that particular kit bag. I only had the money to pay for myself. So I was helpless, and at the same time, we all need to, maybe not in a present age, like when I am 20, I wouldn't think like it would be a much bigger problem. But when I was in a 7th grade, like everyone would have that, when we have that certain kind of situation where the conductor or the ticket collector is being rude to us, and we'll be in such a helpless situation where we don't know what to do, or because it's the last bus and of that particular day, and it has already become dark. So when I was struggling there, and the conductor was being rude, and he was telling me like, okay, you get down of this bus, and if you don't have the money to pay, then you just get down of this bus and come in any other vehicle or any other source. I don't care. So he was trying to be so rude to me. So I didn't actually know what to do. From that point, like the conductor was really shouting to me, and I don't know why. Maybe his workload would be hectic that day, so he would be frustrated. So he gave up on that all frustration towards me, and I was actually hopeless, and I was helpless, by the way. And one man, when he heard this noise from the front seat, he came to me, and he passed the crowd all the way, and he came to me, and he told me, he asked me whether he inquired what was the problem actually. So I told him that this is the particular problem. I don't have money to pay to charge the ticket. It is my problem. If it's indirectly or not, it's my problem, because I don't have the money to pay for this particular kickback. I only have the money to pay my ticket. So he told me that I still don't know who was that person, or why did he help me. I don't know the reason of that, but he helped me. He gave me some money and asked me to buy tickets for myself as well as for the kid. To be honest, I don't know who that was, and why did he actually do that. I still believe that he only did that karma because if he helped me, he wouldn't get anything. Like when we are seeing oneself in another, or if I am seeing myself in some other person, or if I am caring like my problem is their problem, or we are happening, or we are going through the same problems, or we will, if I am sad, the same sadness would be reflecting in the next person. Or if I am happy, that every emotions are reflecting as the same, or every human being is a reflection of oneself or the other. So he came to me and helped me. I still believe that it's all my belief, because that when he gave me the money, it was around Parasinikadavu. Parasinikadavu is a place where Kannur people's favorite deity is situated. That is Sri Muttappan. So I still believe that it was that supreme energy who helped me. But it's my belief that. But what we need to understand is that when that particular person helped me, it made me understand that we need to understand that maybe we don't know the past of a particular person, or a future of that particular person. We are all living in this particular time, or that in this particular time period. Maybe our problem is a reflection of some other's problem. Maybe our happiness is a cause or an effect of some other's karma, or past karmas, or maybe some others. Some other person did a good thing, so it would be reflecting to us. Or it's all like a union or a reflection of the same. And I still don't know why that particular person helped me. I still believe that it's part of that dharma what he actually did. It's only because he understood that when we help a person, maybe that particular good karma will reflect into him. That is, when I care for oneself, and when I care others as it's a reflection of ourselves or myself, it's that particular ideology we can understand from this particular sloka. That is, when we understand that a conscious yogi, whether it's a self-realized soul, or a normal human being like us, maybe I don't know any of us is a self-realized soul, but I am taking into account that we all are natural human beings, and understanding that we all also have the same ideology, that or we also need to understand that everything is a reflection of oneself. That is, everything is a union. I had already said that that particular person helped me. Okay, human being to human being, we are thinking like we are helping each other. We are a reflection of ourselves. But beyond that particular point of view, we also need to understand that another incident which struck me when I read this sloka was like we already said that a human being reflects on another human being, or another characteristic of that particular person. And we also need to understand that beyond this human being relationship, or something like same species or something, another incident which came to my mind was when I was like 3-4 months back. When we all finished our schooling, and yesterday, like some of us had already said that we would have missing our school and all. But actually, we will be definitely missing it. I went back to my school to meet my teachers and all. So when I was walking near to my school, I had my friend with me, and we were together walking to the school. And from there, someone waved me from the back. Like when I turned back, I saw someone waving at me. So when he waved, I don't know actually who was that person. He just waited at me and he asked me whether you can come to me, like because he was as when we in his first impression or in his first experience, he was actually starving. He was not at all healthy, or he was not at all in a good physical condition to walk. So I went near to him and asked him what was the problem. So he told me that he was coming from Patambi and he came to Talasheri in a place in Kannur for a pipeline construction under a certain contractor. And he lost his job because of COVID and all that. He didn't have the money to go back to home or Patambi, which is in Palakkad. So he didn't have the money, and he also told me that he didn't have the money to buy food, and because he normally gets food when he works under the contractor, it was free. He only had the expense of something like like personal pleasures, or maybe some water, maybe only that, about like his accommodation, and food was given by the contractor. But when he lost his job, he lost everything. Like he didn't have proper food to eat. So he asked me whether there is a hotel nearby, and I told him that there is a hotel nearby, which normally opens up at 8. Then he asked me that do you have some money to give me so that I can eat? So I told him that yes, I have the money, so I can give you. Like he was literally starving, and like we in the first like experience, like impression, we can understand that he is not in a very good physical condition to even walk. So I gave him some. I thought of giving him some money. I took some around some money from my pocket. Then I was trying to like I was almost trying to give it to him, but then I took it back, and I thought for a moment, and I understood that instead of giving money, I can walk with him to the nearest hotel and get him some food, because in my inner mind I was thinking like whether if this particular person misuses this money, it would go into something like there would be no use of that particular money. So I told him that I will buy him some food from the nearby hotel. He was actually ready for that. He was more ready for that beside borrowing the money. So I walked with him to the nearest hotel, and I ordered food for him. I ordered something like 3 doshas and 1 plate bhaji, which was around 50 rupees. So they packed for him because there was no dining due to COVID protocols. So the packet was packed, and I gave it to him. At that moment, I felt really good that I could do something. Like it was very much satisfiable that I understood that my problem or their problem is mine, or his problem is mine. Like when he is starving, he will have the same feeling which I have, or I will be having when I am starving. So I thought of that and I helped him. But the real incident that which shook me was that I helped the human being, but what actually did that person do was he took the parcel from me, and he thanked me and he walked away. I asked him whether aren't you eating from here? He told me that no, I'll be walking to the nearby stadium. Which is a normal municipal stadium in Talasheri. So he went to that particular stadium, and he told me that he will be going there and eating from there. It was a very warm, comfortable place because the sea was near. So at the morning there will be a small slight breeze also. So he walked near to that particular stadium. And then like we'll be curious when one person would say like when one person is saying like that. So I and my friend walked behind him. He didn't see actually. We walked all together to the stadium, and when I reached there, what actually made me think that we need to more understand about what is reflection is actually. Like that person was not eating, or he was starving for the past 2 days, and what he did was he had 3 doshas with him. He dipped it in the bhaji and he was cutting into small pieces. He had a paper with him, which was a newspaper which he collected from the hotel itself. So he took that paper out and he just spread it over the particular area, and he took the doshas and cut and teared it into small pieces. He dipped it in the bhaji and then kept aside. He was keeping it aside as one by one. Like when we it was like first I thought I didn't understand what he was doing, because he was dipping it and he was not eating it. He was just keeping it aside. So after 5 minutes, some stray dogs, around 3 to 4 dogs, came near to him. What actually made me feel better was when he dipped that bhaji and kept there, he was already starving for the past 3 days. But what he actually did was he just tear those pieces of doshas and dipped it in the bhaji, and he kept all those 1.5 doshas for that particular stray dogs there. So what I understood that the same starving or the same feeling would be arising in a dog when they are starving. Like when I am starving or when we are starving, we'll have the same feeling. Like we'll be so horrible in condition. We'll be not in a very comfortable manner. The same feeling will be arising for a dog, or whether it's any animal, like whether it's a human being or whether it's a animal. The same feeling would be arising when we are starving. So what he actually did was he understood that the same problem, which means that starving is the same problem, or the same feeling is arising for the dogs, to the dogs themselves. And so when he gave that particular food, I also understood that beside this human to human relationship or reflection of one on the other, there exists the supreme energy or the supreme reflection of oneself, or the union, or that particular understanding of non-duality, which is only singularity is existing. That is, we all are the same. That particular reflection came to me when I saw that particular incident, when he feeded the dogs. He understood that the dog and himself had the same feeling, and he with the 3 doshas, he gave half of the doshas to that 4 dogs which was starving, and he himself ate only 1.5 dosha. He could have done like he could have ate up 3 doshas fully by himself and not give a single tear to that particular dog. But beside that, what he actually did, what he just understood that the same thing is reflecting in another being, or that another living entity. These are my 2 experiences which I personally made me feel better, or made me satisfied that we all have a purpose and we all have that reflection. We all are the same. These 2 particular incidents also made me understood that, like as I said before, the 2 extremes of spirituality is compassion. That is, we are understanding that like normal human beings like us also have the capability to understand that our problem or our reflection is the same as of others. That is, I am not, like by name I am Chinmay, but the body is of Chinmay, but the supreme soul or the supreme energy remains the same. That or when we are moving on to the other extreme of the self-realized souls or yogis, in even higher consciousness, they see God seated as the supreme soul in everywhere. They also perceive the world, but they are unconcerned about it. I am concluding my words here. I hope that I made you feel the reflection, that made you understand or made you feel about the reflection is not only limited to human beings or anything around us. Even if in the material perception or the spiritual perception, we both in the both the state, in the material energy or the material energy where we are obsessed with material perceptions or material objects. Beside that, even if we are coming to the spiritual part, both these in both these states, the Supreme Lord is residing. So I am concluding my words here. Namah Shivaya.
Yes, indeed, Chinmay. The supreme energy is all pervading all over in the world. It is also seated in everyone's heart as a supreme soul. The Lord, with the eyes of divine knowledge, see every living being with an equal vision, a human, a calf, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. As you said, every living creature possesses the super soul, and every living entity is situated in him, one form or another. Very beautifully said. Thank you, Chinmay, for the talk.
Thank you, Manya.
The person involved in yoga looks on everything equally and sees the Atma in all the beings and all beings in the Atma. Whatever God may be, God is in each and every supreme being. As Roshan said, the sentence really gets into me, like we all are one. When we realize we all are one, it will help us to change this whole world with our karma. The question Navaneet have raised, like everyone think what we really are. Those examples really helped us. And as Chinmay said, we all have supreme energy inside ourselves. As you said, I also have experienced supreme power in many situations. Thank you, Roshan, Navaneet, Chinmay, for sharing your experience with us. We have enjoyed and learned from all you. And thank you, everyone. We hope you all are very enjoyed this. And now we came to the end of the event. To conclude, I call upon Sneha for the Shanti Mantra. Sneha.
ॐ लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। थैंक यू।